everyone. Welcome back to the Kirklees Guitar School Podcast. Joined my co-host, Mr. George Loveridge. How are you?
I'm really well, James. Has this week been a rock or a roll for you?
Stroll this week. Well, I say
we've
stroll.
Swapped. It was stroll for me last week.
Like, it's been an okay week, but I've not really got anything to report. I've just I feel like I've been in this room a lot this week. We've got, there's
you
a new...
can go home.
They keep telling me so, but no, I've got. I'm preparing a course that's coming out next week. Right. I'm doing a blues improvisation course, which comes out on Wednesday, the 27th of May. So I'm just kind of doing all the back end stuff for that. You know, the stuff that I'm not qualified to do,
not
like web design,
not the glamorous stuff,
and
yeah.
You know, and making posts and advertisements and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I spent a lot of time playing this week.
That's good.
You know. But other than that, nothing really to report. What about you?
It's a rock for me this week.
Excellent.
Bit more interesting. Gigging on Sunday, out in the elements. We didn't get rained on, which is nice.
I was thinking about you on Sunday.
But we were so in the elements, we were next to a field. So hear me out. This is amusing for everyone. And I noticed just as we're about, it might have been Superstition, that's in our set, and I'm playing the riff before my partner was about to sing. And there was a field of cows just on the horizon, but enough to see them. All of a sudden, about 7 or 8 lady cows decided they really liked each other. Like, really liked each other. Okay. And just as my other half was about to sing, I went, cows. And she looked, and she couldn't sing. So I had to go around the riff again, because she'd seen all these cows doing what cows wanted to do. Yeah. So yeah, that's a rock.
Daddy, what's that cow doing? Never mind.
Never mind.
So,
but speaking of which, what are cows doing? What are Fender doing?
I don't know.
I think it's worth mentioning. There's a war on, you know.
There's a lot of rumblings online about Fender essentially sending everybody that makes Stratocaster shaped guitars cease and desist letters. It's all over sort of guitar media at the minute, and I'd be really interested to see how this plays out.
I find it hilarious that Fender's lawyers have woken up going, hang on a minute, that's ours. You're 70 years late, guys. Sorry. Yeah. I think what's going to happen is they're going to really annoy a lot of people. Like your East Coast guitar. Andertons can't stop that anymore because East Coast will probably go out of business if they Fender pursue it. And guitars like that will just go up in value because you can't get hold of others. But we'll see.
Or is it just somebody in an office just making busy work for themselves? We don't know.
Fender have obviously found some cash to go after these companies.
Is it though? Or are they frightened of everybody else taking their market share? Who knows? But to be honest, for me, it's always been like I've always wanted a Fender Strat. Like that's, you know, I wanted a Gibson Les Paul. I'm one of the people that will save up and get the daddy and get the real thing because that's, you know, people go, oh, the headstock's not important to me. It is important to me.
It is. And I tell you what, I'm a Fender guy. Like, even though I'm playing the LP today, I play a Fender guitar to gig with. I teach with a Telecaster. Fenders are what pay my bills to be able to afford Gibson-style guitars. But hey-ho, that's that, isn't it?
So what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about 5 times that covers were better than the originals. They don't make them like they used to. Or do they make them better? So sometimes you just cannot. A classic is a classic, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
But sometimes new ideas get brought to the tables. After all, we're all musicians. We all have our own finicky bits to put into songs. And we've got 5 examples, 2 each, and 1 joint example we've agreed together smashes the original out of the park.
Okay, so go on then. I'll kick the ball to you first. What are you going to start with?
So I'm going to start with Valerie.
Right.
Originally by the Zootons. I can't remember what year, but then Mark Ronson came along.
It wasn't long.
It didn't take long. Mark Ronson came along and approached Amy Winehouse. Now, as we know, anything Mark Ronson touches turns to gold. Look at Uptown Funk, for instance, and many others. But the Zootons version is this very sussy, offbeat. It's very non-offensive, but it's quite vanilla, I would say. Mark Ronson came along and kept it in that key of E-flat, which is cool, and that's the reason I want to talk about it. I'm playing it in E-flat for a reason today. And gave it this really jivey bass line. That kind of thing, was it? That kind of thing. And then you put Amy Winehouse's vocal on it, and you have a hit instantly. And not many people know that the Zootons predated Amy Winehouse's version. So what's going on in that song then? I've been using this a lot recently to teach bar chords. because you look on Ultimate Guitar and you see E flat, and then you close your laptop lid and play something else.
Go do something else.
Go and do something else. So we've got an A shape major bar chord, E flat on the 6th fret, and then I've got F minor, and I'm actually playing the 7th. Now you can play it in standard, but play it in the original, it just sounds nice. Then you've got your pre-chorus, G sharp, sounds disgusting, but it's just an E chord, jumped up to the 4th fret, G minor, that really nice, bit like the Stevie Wonder we had at the
light
start.
and shade, yeah.
Go to that B flat there on the 6th fret, and then you're back, the chorus acts as the verse.
So harmonically, if you was to do this in the key of E, for example, it'd be a lot of chords that we all know at the bottom of the neck. It'd be, A minor, etc. The fact it's in E flat opens up the conversation between the teacher and the student and go, look, all this awesome music. And it's not just like a lot of that sort of Amy Winehouse stuff kind of harps back to the sort of like soul and Motown
R&B,
and
jazz,
R&B
all that,
stuff,
yeah.
which a lot of that music was in the key of E flat or the key of B flat. So that opens up that world to you. But also how I play this when I'm doing gigs is I'll follow the pattern of the bass.
Are you on the
player.
offbeat?
Well, no, I'm going.
Like a George Michael Faith kind of thing.
And it's not only do we get a chance to talk with the student about bar chords, but also that kind of Nile Rodgers kind of like thing.
Well, so I play like this. I go. See, that's one thing the Amy Winehouse one does. There's this beautiful alternative melody with a horn section. Bop, ba-da, bop. And it's something else for the crowd to sing along. And it makes it a great noughties anthem.
But like when we do, the rare occasion we get a chance to do gigs together, we'll chop those parts up between the two guitars on the gig to broaden the sound. So I think that's a great... I think that's
nothing
a great
wrong
one.
with the Zootons' version, but I think it's a bit vanilla.
Yeah.
Hence why it's in our video today. What about you then?
Okay, so we put this out on the Facebook group, and pretty much everybody sort of gave us what we wanted to talk about nearly. I've got some honourable mentions on to pick through in a little bit though. But my first one is Johnny Cash's rendition of "Hurt," which was originally done by Nine Inch Nails. Now, the Nine Inch Nails song is good, but I sort of think about particularly that Johnny Cash's version, and he wasn't around for much longer after the recording.
No, it was late in his career,
It's
wasn't
a bit like the last David Bowie album, and more on Bowie in a little bit, right? Yeah. But it was a bit like the last David Bowie album where you could kind of tell they were almost sort of like saying goodbye. It's quite sort of bittersweet. But that riff, I mean, a funny-looking bloke with a beard did a lesson on this a while ago.
Brian Johnson Strikes Again.
Check out. Brian Johnson Strikes Again, correct.
Although, watching that back, he doesn't have a beard, he just wears a flat cap, but there we go.
Now, I'm sort of outlining A minor, C. Now, he goes to a D down here.
I play D up there a lot, like you're about to do.
But I lifted that out of Man on the Moon by R.E.M.
Because you've still got the major third and the root there, haven't you?
That's it, yeah. It's like... It's that way of playing a D chord, but you get this kind of like floaty, ethereal sound. And when you're picking through things that... I mean, when something's quite fast... You haven't really got time to let it breathe, but this is different. It uses the same chords. And guitarists do this funny thing. They start shaking the neck like it does something. It feels right. It doesn't add anything to it. But I like that because it teaches picking control. And there's not too much going on in the fretting hand. But then when you get into the chorus, you'll hear a piano just playing a G chord over again over the top. And I like to sort of get it's the light and shade between the two. And I'm almost mimicking the left and the right hand of the piano there, doing the bass. But then I'm playing this G chord here, but I'm putting this D note in on the 3rd fret. If you've ever played any Oasis songs, Noel Gallagher plays a G like that. And it just adds this. You know, you've said before that the perfect fifth interval sounds very noble and very kind of Roman.
Oh,
That's what
upright,
that is. It gives you this sort of like anchor to move on to. Personally, I prefer the Johnny Cash version. I don't mind Nine Inch Nails. I'm not, we're not bashing on anybody.
No, that's not
but
the
I
point.
do believe that is not only is it an excellent song to listen to and makes you feel something, which is what music's supposed to do.
Yeah.
As a study for guitarists.
Well, let's imagine we've got a looper pedal. Play me that riff. Just as your own improv, you can make a really mean backing track from that.
I keep thinking about making a course about how to use a looper because people buy them and then kind of get really confused and they go in the cupboard to die. And actually, there's a lot of practice you can do.
Absolutely,
with a loop pedal. So where are we going next?
We are going to Gary Clark Jr.
Wow.
Okay, so if you're unfamiliar, Gally,
it's easy for you.
lovely lady, if you've ever met her. Gary Clark Jr. is kind of like John Mayer, but with gravel in his throat. And he kind of flies under the radar a little bit.
I sort of think if Lenny Kravitz and John Mayer, if you mix those two, that's kind of what you'd get.
So he is a out-and-out blues player, American guy. Have a listen to some of his stuff. He's responsible for kind of... I nick a lot of his riffs, actually.
Yeah.
He does this kind of... Oh, in a lower key, it'd sound nicer. That kind of thing.
And a lot of fuzz.
Hence why I'm using Che's fuzz. So thank you once again, Che. So I've gone for his rendition of Come Together.
Right.
Now, hang on a minute. The Beatles are my favourite band of all time. And there's nothing wrong with the whole... That's fine. Gary Clark Jr.'s version was actually released for the... I've written it down because I knew I forget.
Yeah, was it a film?
Yeah, the Justice League soundtrack in 2017. He's also done the Cars 3 soundtrack.
Right.
Just how John Mayer was involved in the 2006. Anyway, this song is like a Mad Max version of Come Together.
Right.
And I think it sounds like if Hendrix was on the record in the day. So I'll just make sure everything's in tune. Now, speaking of tuning, it's in drop D, but I actually think Gary Clark Jr. plays it in open D.
Right, okay.
But I don't have time for that today. So you know how the original sounds? Gary Clark Jr. comes along with a fuzz pedal and his SG in drop D. Sorry, everyone, that went very wrong. But that was really cool. Do you see our faces curl up a little bit?
We do when we do gigs occasionally. Some of the songs that we have to do, we have to change the key of some of the songs to make it fit the singer's range. So I take my SG and I'd tune it down to D standard, and me and George pull the same face every time we start hot stuff.
Rude.
It's just like, it sounds massive.
I think
that's the same sound.
But then again, it's in the same key as the original.
Yeah, it's just an octave low. Well, if you compare.
And he hangs on that
You
F.
versus the guy you told you not to worry about.
Yeah, honestly, like, babe, don't worry, I'm not interested in you. It's like the whole thing we're talking about, that E chord from last week.
Yeah.
You know, where you play everything. But I got it wrong, but there's that. He's adding this alternate melody in there. And what I like about it even more is that the choruses, they're all stopped and syncopated in the verses. So it doesn't just go, it's more, top he come, slowly he go. Can't help myself, that sounds cool. So there's nothing wrong with the Beatles' version of Come Together, but Gary Clark Jr.'s just...
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's adding to it. It's salt and pepper and a lot of chili powder, I think, over that one. So that's my second pick. I'm sure, hopefully that's allowed.
Yeah, I think, we'll overlook the sacrilege for today's episode, George. So this one divides opinion, and we were all sort of going on about it in the Facebook group yesterday. I'm going to choose "Man Who Sold the World" by Nirvana. Now, I know you've got some thoughts.
I've just never gelled with that song. Some Bowie stuff sounds really good. But you know when people do a David Bowie impression and they talk like that, David Bowie, that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Starman's great. Heroes is enough to make you cry. Rebel's cool. No thanks.
Have you ever seen Flight of the Conchords?
No.
You should watch it.
Right, okay.
It was hilarious. They have a whole episode around David Bowie.
So David Bowie did Man Who Sold the World originally then?
Yeah, he did. And Nirvana covered it in their MTV Unplugged session, which was they basically recorded an album with a live studio audience.
Iconic.
I don't think there's a bad song on that album. And what that showed me was all the sort of like angsty rock that I absolutely loved as a teenager. Underneath the distortion and the sort of angst, there were excellent songs underneath.
You were watching them going, hang on, wait, where's the drive pedal?
Yeah,
What's going on?
Well, but what I thought as well absolutely blew my mind, the solo that he plays in the recording of "Man Who Sold the World" is using Lead Belly's guitar. It's Lead Belly's guitar is that old, I think it's a Martin D18.
Yeah, it's definitely Martin or something like that.
And he asked David Geffen of Geffen Records to buy the guitar for him, and he said no. But the estate of Lead Belly let him use it for the recording. But that solo and all the drive pedals, it's a Boss DS1.
That's why it's got that.
Into a Fender Twin.
Right.
So that was the sound.
Is this the riff that's full of the hammer-ons and trills and... And it's in 5/4 as well, which is another reason I don't like it.
Is it?
There's bits of 5/4, I'm sure, at least in the Bowie version.
Oh, maybe in the Bowie version. I've never picked up on it on the Nirvana one. But it's got this... What I like about... Obviously, David Bowie is one of the best songwriters ever. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody can be disputed that, just as the Beatles, yeah? But I love this whole kind of like sort of... It's kind of got this sort of flamenco-y kind of thing about it, which at the time when I was learning all this stuff, I'd never really heard anything like that, let alone learn how to play it. And I kind of learnt to get the sort of... Because you could just go... But it's not. It's a bit sultry almost.
It's Paint It Black-esque.
I'm sort of raking into the notes a little bit more, and it's so there's that. I like to use this song. I'm actually going to do a lesson on YouTube at some point in June on this. It's on the chopping block for me to transcribe next, and I really like that. This is a great example of a song that uses. We can pick 4-chord strummers all day long, and we teach them all day long. And you get to a certain point with a student, and they go, right, okay. Oh, it's down, down, up again. And you start looking for stuff that's a little bit more challenging. This song takes the down, down, up strumming pattern, but then adds a little riff, a little melody, a little bit of lead guitar. And like the Love Will Tear Us Apart lesson that I did last week on the lesson YouTube channel, it incorporates a little bit of melody and a little bit of chords, and you're learning to chop and change between the two. And that's one of the hardest things when you're first getting going with learning to play the guitar, is being able to strum a couple of chords, then play a riff, strum a couple of chords.
I'm teaching Sunshine of Your Lot at the moment for the same reason. Yes, it's power chords, but you're having to go, or even bar chords for those that way inclined, you're having to go from a whole single to... It's hard to change between the two when you're first starting out. So
there's a lot of great lessons in that. And I think it's a really obvious choice, but I think it's... I really struggle with this because I've got a few honourable mentions that I feel
from the
like...
Facebook group?
Well, no, this is just me sat thinking about
all right,
it this morning.
I'll have a look then for the Facebook group while you reel off them.
I think... Let us know down below if there's any that really resonate with you, but I'm thinking, like, I Fought the Law was a cover.
Of course, Clash. Yeah, we mentioned that in the 70s pod, didn't we?
Yeah. I Fought the Law was done by the Crickets. Red Red Wine was done by Neil Diamond originally.
Okay.
Which I didn't know until...
Don't talk about another UB40 cover was Can't Help Falling in Love, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah. Tainted Love, obviously, Soft Cell. Now, I'm sorry, the Gloria Jones version just is all over that.
Imelda May enters the chat.
Yeah.
So soft sell is a... Actually, speaking of 80s, we're going live at the Denby Dale Pie Hall, believe it or not. Cringe upon cringe for that. Saturday, 6th of June, isn't it?
Saturday, 6th of June. Make sure you get your tickets. There's only a handful left. And once they are gone, they're gone. So, Tainted Love, absolutely. Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley.
The Cohen, yeah.
So,
Capo 4, isn't it?
Have you got a capo handy, or I'm going to have to do it old-fashioned way?
I love the relationship in those chords.
Now, he does that up on the capo on the 5th fret. It goes like this, the 4th, the 5th. Now, he's talking through the intervallic movements there, which is really cool.
I love the E7 in that.
Yeah. Oh, Leonard Cohen's a bit kind of like somebody we're going to talk about in the not too distant future, but I feel like excellent songwriter, but then other musicians pick it up with maybe a little bit more prowess on their instrument and just take it to another level. I mean, you got to think of like All Along the Watchtower is
Hendrix.
another absolute. Yeah. That one was a little bit too obvious for me to put in.
Just seen on the group, Proud Mary, Tina Turner, to Creedence.
Now, I prefer Creedence's version personally, but that's because I've played Tina's version to lots of drunk people a lot.
Grapevine, Marvin Gaye to...
Creedence Clearwater Revival have so much to thank John Fogerty for.
I'm going back to Drop D, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
While we're here, because we gig this. We actually gig at Cap on the 1st fret, but we've got this. Playing that on acoustic guitar in a field through a loud PA going... It's got the same vibe as the others, but it's still a cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's cool.
And then one more that I thought about, which kind of happened, which is a little bit more modern. It says that it's probably still 20 years old, or maybe a little bit more. Smooth Criminal.
Alien Ant Farm?
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry. I challenge you to play that on bass.
Yeah.
Without a pick and not cry.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Excellent. Do you know Torn by Natalie Imbruglia was a cover as well?
No.
I didn't know that either. So I learned quite a lot.
That a lot. That's the whole...
Yeah. Right. We've got one more that I want us to talk about before we run out of time today. Yep. So I'll back this one to you.
Okay.
George.
So again, we're going up to the 90s now. But before that is the 80s. So again, live show plug. We go into Knocking on Heaven's Door, the GunsNRoses iteration. James and I share a very fond hatred for Bob Dylan. And he didn't know where I was going with that. Yeah.
Speak for yourself. It's not hatred. It's excellent songwriter.
Well, exactly, because people go, oh, that's a cool song. It's mine now.
Yeah, and I accept, it's a bit like I said last week about Robert Smith and The Cure. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it.
I don't even think Dylan fans get it. I've got a few students who've been to see him and they say he just stands and plays new songs for 2 hours and then he'll play Mr. Tambourine Man at the end. Yeah. But, well, even that, was it the Arbors that covered that?
It's the whole folky thing. I think you kind of had to be there to sort of get it. And I think there's a bit of cork sniffing involved. So, yeah.
20 years after the original release, GunsNRoses came along and you think this is on their second album. I mean, Appetite for Destruction. What a first debut album.
Yeah, it didn't matter what they were going to release after Appetite for Destruction. It was just not going to do as well, was it?
But it's got this really steady... You compare that to, Mr. Brownstone or Night Train.
Yeah.
Oh, don't. Maybe / artist profile one day.
Maybe.
Okay, that's great. Cool. But after that really slow chorus guitar intro, it goes to these mega... which are just big power chords. But then in the choruses, it goes to this really cool harmony part that I've worked out for bands here. Should we give that a go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1. Almost sounds Paramore-esque.
Yeah.
But all that is, we're playing octaves, but we're covering the D string. Can you hear that? I'm not getting it out. So I can strum everything. But together, I'm playing a B at the same time as you playing a G.
Yeah.
Which is the third apart. It's just nice, but then, again, Mr. Brownstone, the solo comes along, and I think it's one of Slash's nicest solos. Bar November Rain, the emotion in that first solo.
No, I've never got on with November Rain again. Just this.
I get it.
I feel as losing supporters constantly by my terrible music taste, but yeah, I just don't.
Go on, let me try this solo then. So you think, again, it's kind of Paradise City-esque. That's it, okay. Take Paradise City. Take that, slow it down.
Yeah.
Take your time, and you end up with
smooth
this.
neck pickup Les Paul.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
That, well done, Slash. That's just nice. The Bob Dylan version could never even hope to capture that kind of vibe.
I think you've also got to factor in, and there's probably some, I can hear angry keyboards clacking.
Lovely. That's what we're
Yeah,
on.
it's engagement. It's all engagement, folks. But, like, I think the angle that we're looking at this is what are good lessons, because we are predominantly guitar players. We're guitar players before songwriters. I know I am, and you as well. I don't know about you guys at home. Dylan was all about what he was saying and what he was singing about, and it's far too intellectual for a Luddite from the hills like me. I like good guitar riffs, good guitar music. I never really listen to words. Me and my partner really butt heads about stuff, and she'll be listening to a song in the car, and she'll be like, "Oh, isn't this really sad?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but it's in B minor."
I do stuff like that, and my half says nerd. Yeah, that's what pays the bills. There we go.
It does. So yeah, I fully appreciate it's Dylan. It's me. It's not Dylan's fault. Sorry, Dylan.
I think
it's me,
Dylan,
not you.
but then Johnny Cash did that as well.
Yeah.
What's the lyric in Folsom Prison Blues? My mama said, "Be a good boy, don't ever play with guns." Well, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. And that's quite a statement.
A little bit tongue-in-cheek, yeah.
It is.
Well, and I think there's some stuff that you can't sort of avoid listening to the lyrics. Something like A Boy Named Sue, you can't not listen to the story. Because it's
Chicken
so
in Black.
blatantly a story. It's like, no, sit down and listen to this story. Whereas if you try and be a little bit more artistic
Well, it's
about it, it's
Up
lost
the Junction by Squeeze.
Yeah.
There isn't a chorus in that.
No.
It's just verses and a bridge. Because it is a ballad. There's nothing, apart from the chords, there isn't a section of lyric that repeats. It's a story the whole way through. A ballad.
So what are some covers, do you think, what are some covers that we missed out that you like to
We could do
play at
5
home?
more.
Yeah,
I would
if
like
we
to do
if
that.
we maybe do a follow-up episode on this for some that we've not thought about. Let us know in the comments down below. Just a reminder, we are live on Saturday the 6th of June. Not long now, George. We're giving away a couple of guitars for the second instalment of our 80s Decade Discovery Series. If you head to the first link in the description, you can learn a little bit more about that and potentially bag yourself a couple of tickets.
Yeah, 2 rare guitars now that Fender are going after
That's
everyone.
it.
These
Yeah,
are outlawed now.
They'll be worth a couple of quid, won't they? So thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.